Hello YouTube, welcome back to another work with me. This time for a bit of the spooky season, we're making a witchy outfit for Ayame. So this video is a day late because the outfit was a pain in the butt in some places. But here we go. So as usual, off screen I finished up all my fabric pattern pieces. And this time I learned a new trick, that is using the soldering iron on the chiffon to seal the edges and making some tiny little holes here and there in the skirt piece, just for a bit of detail. So I start off with the dress. My first step is sewing up the darts. First, sewing up the darts on the back with hand sewing, because the seams are very small and finicky. And then I sew up the darts in the front with my sewing machine. After sewing up the darts, I sew together the two front pieces, good side to good side, and when I've sewn, I press the seams on all my pieces. Then I sew my front pieces to my back pieces, shoulder to shoulder, and top stitch it in place and press the seams again. After that, I added some gathering stitches to my skirt pieces and my sleeve pieces where they go together. So for my sleeve pieces, both the green piece at the shoulder and the green hanging piece, I gather them a bit before pinning them together and sewing them together. After sewing the sleeve pieces together, I sew the sleeves to the shoulders. After the sleeves, I close up the side seams from the sleeve to the underarm to the torso, and then I move on to the skirt part. So for the skirt part, first I fold over and sew the bottom hem of my black skirt piece before gathering it and pinning it to my bodice. Then I also gather my green underskirt piece and pin it to the bodice. And then I sew the two skirt parts and the bodice together. Next up, the back. So I didn't want to go with the standard zipper in the back with this pattern like usual, especially since the skirt itself is so bulky. So I decided to cut some horizontal snips in the back and fold over the edges and sew them in place. So we have a nice open back. And then I sew up the back of the black skirt piece, mainly because it's a bit bulky and the green skirt pieces I want more poofy. Anyway, there are reasons. I just find it hard to explain. Next, I gathered some green ribbon and pinned it and sewed it to the collar. And after adding some snaps and some details off screen, I'm done. The details I added off screen were mostly adding some beads on the neck and the waist and adding some bows. On to the next part of the outfit, the cape. So I mainly have 3 pieces of fabric, 2 3/4 circles with a circle cut out in the middle, and then a rectangle. So my first step is I'm going to sew the 2 circle pieces together at the side seams and all around the edge. Then I flip it inside out and press the seams. After that, I fold over good side to good side the collar piece and sew up the 2 small sides. And then flip that inside out, press the seams, and now I'm going to be adding it to the collar of the cape. I made my collar to be a bit pleated, so it's a bit longer than the hole is where it's supposed to go. So I pin it at the sides, then at the center, and then go into the middle parts to pleat it and pin that. And then I sew, and then I add a top stitch. And after that, I add a fancy hook and eye closure, and the cape is done. I didn't add any decorations to the cape because I wanted it simple to contrast a bit with her outfit. So next up, the witch hat. So it's basically 2 circle pieces with circles cut out in the middle and a curved triangular piece. So I start off sewing the 2 circle pieces together, good side to good side, snipping the corners a bit, turning it inside out, pressing the seams, and then on to the other part. Take the triangle piece, good side to good side, sew up the straight edges, and after sewing up those straight edges of straight edge, I pin and sew the cone to the circle piece of the hat. So after that, I add some decorations again. It's mainly a ribbon tied around the hat and tied into a skew bow. Unfortunately, I didn't show how I made the shoes because I suck at making shoes, but it's a basic shoe shape. Cut out 2 pieces, sew them together at the front, top stitch, fold over and sew the top, and then good side to good side sew up the back before gluing them onto the resin shoe base I made. And we're done with the work with me. No photos for now. Just wait for the dress up on Halloween. So I hope you enjoyed this work with me. And I hope you'll stick around to watch the dress up to see the full outfit in all its glory. Thanks for watching. Bye.